Imagine a $10 million modern battle tank suddenly appearing in the 3rd century BC. A world with no electricity, no advanced steel, no explosives. But one thing they did have was Archimedes and his machines. Could ancient technology stand a chance against the iron monsters of today? Let's find out. To understand this matchup, we first need to see what ancient engineers would be dealing with. A modern tank weighs more than 55 tons of composite armor. It carries a 120mm cannon, can move at 65 kilometers per hour, and is packed with thermal optics, stabilized targeting systems, and advanced electronics. Even many modern missiles struggle to penetrate this kind of armor. So, ancient catapults should be completely useless, right? Maybe not. Ancient civilizations lacked computers, but they were home to some of the greatest mechanical minds in history. Archimedes designed machines that could rival the strength of our modern cranes. Heron of Alexandria built the world's first functioning steam turbine. Greek and Roman engineers lifted stone blocks weighing over 60 tons using nothing but wood, rope, and pure physics. These were not primitive societies. They were mechanical superpowers. One of Archimedes' most impressive creations was the so-called claw. This war machine could lift entire Roman warships out of the water. Those ships weighed between 40 and 60 tons, which is exactly the weight range of modern tanks. The claw worked by using carefully calculated leverage, counterweights, and pulley systems. No engines, no motors, just brilliant engineering. And yes, the same principles could flip a tank. Maybe not high into the air, but enough to destabilize, overturn, or completely immobilize it. Ancient catapults also deserve far more respect. Greek torsion engines were capable of launching projectiles at 200 meters per second, which is faster than many handgun bullets today. A 10-kilogram stone traveling at that speed would be more than enough to shatter a tank's external optics. A heavy wooden bolt could jam or bend the barrel of the main gun. Hundreds of smaller projectiles could slice through cables, shatter sensors, and destroy essential targeting equipment. You don't need to penetrate armor to cripple a machine that relies heavily on electronics. Even if ancient engineers couldn't break a tank directly, they could stop it. Warfare in the classical world relied heavily on controlling terrain. Deep pits, angled ramps, collapsing earthworks, log barriers, stone traps, and metal caltrops were common tools of the time. And unlike infantry, a tank is extremely vulnerable to being trapped. Its enormous weight becomes a weakness. Once stuck, even a modern recovery vehicle struggles to pull out a 50-ton machine. In the ancient world, that tank would be going nowhere. The ancients also had early experiments with pressure and mechanical energy. Over 1,000 years before the Industrial Revolution, Heron of Alexandria invented a working steam engine, a spinning sphere powered purely by steam jets. It wasn't used in warfare, but it proved that ancient engineers understood the principles behind engines, pressure, and mechanical force. If their civilizations had continued pushing in this direction, early steam machines could have changed warfare centuries before gunpowder was even invented. So, who would actually win? In a direct firefight, the tank clearly dominates. A single modern shell would obliterate any ancient fortification or machine. But ancient engineers would never confront it directly. They would fight with intelligence, terrain manipulation, leverage, traps, fire, ropes, and physics. A tank that loses its optics is blind. A tank that falls into a pit is done. A tank flipped by leverage is no longer a weapon. It's scrap metal. The battle wouldn't be modern armor versus ancient wood. It would be modern firepower versus ancient genius. Archimedes and his fellow engineers built machines far ahead of their time. And while no ancient weapon could destroy a tank with raw force, ancient engineering absolutely could stop one. Maybe humanity's greatest weapon is not steel or explosives, but imagination. What ancient technology do you think was the most dangerous? Share your ideas in the comments.